Hi, my name is Johan. I'm your instructor. So let me give you a little background about myself so that you can get to know me. First of all, I'm French and American. I live in America. I've been here for more than 15 years now. I have a degree in computer science and in mathematics. Now, the reason why I chose computer science and mathematics is that I'm a very creative person and I like to build things. I love arts such as drawing or 3D animations, and I love music. And what I love about computer science is that I can get to use all these graphic arts and all this music and put it together and make apps and games. So computer science for me is definitely the way to go. Now, something else you want to know about myself. I've been teaching in college and online for now more than 7 or 8 years, and I love it. And I got a little bit of fame in magazines such as Wired News or Forbes Online, Yahoo, and so on, because I came up with this technique of helping people that have no experience with games and apps, and they were able to publish their games with no experience in less than a day and put it in the iTunes App Store. And some of my students ended up in the top 10 worldwide. Now, I don't know if you understand what that means, but my students were able to beat teams like the Candy Crush team, which is King, or even Clash of Clans. Yes, they were placed higher than these people in the iTunes App Store. And I'm very proud of them, and I wish I could do it myself. I did reach top 10 with a medical app, but I've never made it to the top first spot or second spot like they did. By the way, if you want to know more about this, I do have a podcast, so just Google it. It's called the Mobile App Flipping and the Rescaling Podcast. It's on iTunes and on many other different platforms. So if there's something you want to know more about myself, feel free to ask me. If not, there's something else I'd like to ask you is tell me more about yourself and why you're taking this class and what do you want from this class.
Hello everybody, my name is Sergey and I am one of the co-instructors for this class about Unity programming. And in here, what I'm going to be doing is introducing myself. I'm letting you know who I am, what I actually do. So what I do and who I am, I teach a lot of different courses on Udemy itself, and I have over 23,000 students and about 30 different classes. Now, what I'm going to be doing next is asking you to go about and introduce yourself. Let the other classmates know who you are, and even cool enough if you want to say what place that you're located at. That's kind of cool as well. And then just ask a question, just a general question. Get to know people, get to know your classmates, and who knows, you might make some new friends. All you have to do is very simple. Press on Add Discussion, and here you can press and write the topic of the discussion itself. You can just say highlight here, and then just write down a little bit, like a line or two about yourself, anything you want anyone else to know about you, and then just press on post. So now it is your turn to do this as well.
You'll see there's a UI manager here that contains all the settings within the inspector. All the settings are right here for the app ID for Google, iTunes, the leaderboard, the Twitter message, the ad mob. So all the settings for the game that you need to change, they're all in one spot. Isn't that beautiful? Now, next thing you want to do is change the graphics. I'm going to go quickly over changing graphics because I don't want to bore you with light graphics changing. So I'm just going to do a little bit of graphics change, not too much. First thing I want to do is go to the images folder, click on the background. I'm going to right click and do reveal in Finder. As soon as you do that, it opens right here. Now I'm going to open it with Photoshop. Now you probably don't have Photoshop, and that's okay. That's totally fine. You can use GIMP. That's totally free, and it's very similar to Photoshop. A little bit harder at the beginning, but you can download that for free. Now you can do it with another free tool that's called Sumo Paint, and it's online. You can edit your files online. You don't even need to download the software. It's all there, very similar to Photoshop. Now Photoshop is not free. It's about $19 a month, or you can get the Adobe Cloud Suite, which has Photoshop, Illustrator, After Effects, and a bunch of other amazing tools. It's really up to you at this point. Okay, now I'm going to close these. And what I'm going to do is reskin just the background for now. If you go to appsfresh.com, so I'm going to go to appsfresh.com, and if you go to the let me go back so that you can see that. If you go to the graphics pack link and go on the second page, it might be on a different page for you, you will see all the backgrounds for the Flappy Croco game, and we're actually going to reuse them. Because right here, there's a space exploration background, and that's great for any space game that's 2D platform like that. So I already downloaded it, and I'm just going to use it. It's right here, bg.png. I'm going to right-click and open with Adobe Photoshop. Now, I'm going to select all and do Edit, Copy. Now, I'm going back to the background from the game and do Edit, Paste. And here we go. We have the space exploration background. I'm just going to make it to the right size, put it in this corner, press Command-T. By the way, I'm going fast because I don't want to bore you with the reskinning process. Some of you already know how to do that. But here, you have to understand that it's all about changing images. So you might have different ways of doing that. Now I'm just going to copy this, pressing V, Alt and the right key, and just going to copy this. That's one way to copy a layer. Another way is just to go right here and drag and drop this inside of the layers right here. All right, and just move it there. Okay, and that's it. I have my new background. Now I'm going to merge them all. Select all of them, Command-E to merge, and here we go. And I'm going to save that. File, save for web. That's an easy way. Okay, and click on Save. Make sure it's a PNG file and override the original one, which is under the Captain Rocket robot that I created. In the Images folder, you see the background.png right here. I'm just going to save on top of this. Replace. Okay, and as soon as you do that, when you go back to Unity, you will see something very interesting. There you go, boom, change. I didn't even have to refresh anything. It's very different than Xcode. In Xcode, you actually have to do a product clean and then rebuild. Here, I don't have to. It automatically found out that I changed it and it updated it. Isn't that great? Now, what I want to change is this, the water here. Okay, the water is green. I'm going to make it red. So I'm going to show you a quick and simple way to do that. These are the waves. I'm going to right-click and do Reveal in Finder. I'm going to open the waves back, waves middle, and waves top. Right-click, open with Adobe Photoshop. I'm going to select a different color here. I'm going to take a reddish color. So that it looks like lava. Okay, I'm going to select this color and use the bucket tool right here and just paint on top of this. Done. Save that, Command-S, done. Now go to the other wave. I'm going to select a lighter color. There we go. And just paste here and save, Command-S. I'm going to do the same thing for the one in the back. Select a different color, a lighter red. Just press there and save. Done. Now going back to Unity to change automatically. And there we go. We have it. Now if I press play, let's take a look at it. I'm going to press play right here. And there we go. We see all the colors and we see the new background. What we want to do now is work on the logo. We're not going to call this Captain Rocket. We're going to call this Commander Space, let's say Robot Space Rocket. Okay, so that's the name I'm going to give here. So I'm going to go and look for the title. There it is, Captain Rocket. I'm going to right-click and do Reveal in Finder. And I'm going to open with Photoshop. And I'm just going to remove that by pressing Command-A and delete. Okay. Now, I'm going to give it a different name. I'm going to press T for text. And I'm going to use this Birdman text. Now, you might not have this Birdman font. If you want your own font, you can just go to your web browser and go to dafont.com. And there's plenty of free and paid fonts, and some of them, you know, you have to just state the name of the one that made the app, that made the fonts, and you know, just type maybe space, and you'll find plenty of space fonts. Okay, there you go. As you can see, there's plenty of them, and here it tells you free for personal use
or not, and things like that. Okay, as you can see, free for personal use, 100% free, and so on. All right. And then make sure you close Photoshop before installing your fonts. Otherwise, you're not going to see them in Photoshop. All right, I'm going to change the color. I'm going to use a whitish color. And I'm going to call this one, we said, Commander, Robot Commander Rocket. That's how I'm going to call it. Now I know we can't see much because it's white. So what I'm going to do is just double click on the layer. And I'm going to drop a shadow. You guys see the shadow there? Okay, that will be enough. I'm going to press OK. And I'm going to increase the size by pressing Command T. There we go. Now I'm going to do something very similar to what Star Wars would do, which is this effect that the text is leaving in the back. So I'm going to skew this. Edit, transform, skew. And I'm going to select this top left edge, put it here, and this top left edge, and put it there. Oh, it's actually not working. It might not be skew. I might need to do perspective. Let's see with perspective. Oh, I know why, because I need to first do layer and do rasterize layer. Okay, now I can do it. Edit, transform, skew. There we go. Perfect. All right. It might be too much. It's up to you to, play with it. Okay, I'm going to go like that. It's, it's really up to you here at this point, but that will do for now. I'm going to leave it like that. All right, that's going to be enough. Now I'm going to save this. Command-Alt-Shift-S to save. And I'm going to replace the title. All right, save. Replace. Now let's go back and take a look at it. Perfect. Robot Commander Rocket. All right. Now I'm going to press play and let's see it in action. All right. Perfect. Now, as you can see, this doesn't show any Google AdMob ads or any Chartboost ads because we're inside of the Unity simulator. If you launch this on a phone, you will see your own ads. All right. Moving on. What I want to do is go to the assets and I'm going to go to the play scene. So I'm just going to double click on the play scene. And as you can see, this is what you see right there and all the elements from the game that are used, but you do not see them at the beginning. If I press play, you won't see them there. You would see only what's right there in the camera view. So if I click on main camera, it's actually shown what you can see right there. Okay. All right. So what I want to change now is the main character. It's actually pretty simple. I'm going to click on the images and change the little guy right there to a robot. So I'm going to right click and do reveal in Finder. And I'm going to right click and open with Adobe Photoshop. Now, let me close the rest. I'm going to right click. Let's do close all for now. Don't save. Don't save. There we go. Open with Adobe Photoshop. And I'm going to need a robot. So I'm going to go to a free website, which is OpenClipArt. Now, OpenClipArt doesn't have amazing quality, I have to be honest with you. If you go to graphicriver.net, it has a lot of good quality images, but they're not free. So, but they're really cheap. So it's really worth it. If I would type robot here, you would have some amazing ones right there. Okay. So as you can see, there's a lot of very nice robots that we could use here. But just for the sake of learning here, I'm going to go quick and I'm going to type robot here. Okay. And let's see what we get. All right. Well, I see a bunch of robots here, 8 little robots. Okay, and I'm going to go with this one. So I'm going to go down here and click on medium image, and that's going to save it automatically. Show in Finder. Here it is. Right click, open with Adobe Photoshop. Here it is, and I'm going to use this robot right there. So I'm just going to select this part and do edit copy. Go back to the character from the game and do edit paste. Now, as soon as I do that, the image is too big, so I'm going to transform it, press Command T, and make it smaller so that it fits. All right, and center it a little bit. And there we go. If I zoom in, that will do. Maybe a little bit more up. Okay, that will do. Now I'm going to remove the image behind it and save that. Command Alt Shift S and click on Save. And save it on top of the character. So override the character.png. Save and replace. All right, we're almost done with the character. There's one more file, image file we need to change, which is under the character animation. Let me see where it is. If I go back to Unity, I would see it. It's right here, character walk. So I'm going to right click, reveal in Finder. Here it is. Right click, open with Adobe Photoshop. So when the character, when we start to play the game, the character starts walking on the platform. So that's why we have an animation, very simple one. I'm going to take the robot right here, Command A, Command C, and just paste it on top and move it a little bit to the left so that that's my first character. And then duplicate that, Alt, and I press the key to move it. Okay, so I just duplicated it. I'm going to remove the one behind, and I'm going to make somewhat an animation. So I'm going to just tilt this one a little bit so that it looks like it's actually animated. All right, that will do. Not too much, but that will do. Now I'm going to select all layers, merge them, and then save that. Command Alt Shift S, save, and I replace the character walk.png. Replace. Okay. I can close all now. I don't need them anymore. Don't save, don't save. And if I go back to Unity, can actually see that the character has changed now. Okay, so we do have this character instead. And I'm going to press play so you guys can see what we have. All right, there we go. We have the new character. We have the new background. So far, so good. Everything's working just perfectly.
Hello, so what I want to talk about right now is what is a good idea for an app or for a game. I'm going to go more into the game industry because anyone can go and create a game. It's a lot easier than creating an app. And I have many students ask me, is my idea a good idea? And I usually tell them that I'm not the right person to ask. And what I mean by this is that I'm a software engineer by trade. So I create apps. You have to look for your audience. Now, you have to understand who your audience is. So whenever you create an app or a game, you have to understand who are the people that will be using the app or the game. So let's say it's an educational app to learn how to do multiplications and divisions in math. Then you will know that the average person might be an actual kid between, let's say, 6 to 10 years old. So you need to cater the art, the style, and the user interface for people that age. Now, if your app is an accounting app, then you probably are targeting business people or side entrepreneur, and obviously it needs to look more professional and be different. So again, your idea, I don't know if it's a good idea or not, you have to understand who your audience is first. Once you know who your audience is, the next step is to talk to your audience, get feedback from your audience. You don't even need to create the game or the app just yet. What you can do is fake it till you make the app. Now, what do I mean by fake it? You can totally make a website, just a landing page using WordPress or any of these online free tools or free website makers and designers. There's plenty, such as Wix, W-I-X, it's a free tool. And you can create a landing page. You can also use leadpages.net. And in that page, what you will have is basically a few screenshots that you may have drawn or ask a contractor to draw, and see if people want to subscribe. So you would create an email box and see if people would come and want to know more about your app or your game. Then once you see you have enough traction, or that you see that people are either interested or not interested, then you can create the app or the game. Now, something very important is that you have to set goals, in the sense that if you're going to do some kind of advertising on, let's say, Facebook or Twitter, and you know that you're going to target 10,000 people, then out of those 10,000 people, you have to tell yourself, how many of those 10,000 people do I want to be able to say, okay, if out of 10,000 people I have 5% or 2% or 10% of them that subscribed to know more about the app or the game, then it's a winner. I go and do it, green light, or I just kill it and move to another project. Now, nothing can stop you from having different flavors of your game and try different screenshots, even before making the app or the game, different screenshots of how the style will be or what the app functionality will be, and then see if there's any interest or not. So again, if somebody tells you your idea is not good or your idea is amazing, do not take their words for granted. Make sure that they go the extra step as to download your app or at least subscribe to your email list. Now, some people even go one step further, and what they do is you can also have some kind of a way to actually buy or pre-order the app. So if somebody really likes the idea, somebody is ready to give money for it right away. So let's say you can do a pre-order with like a 50% off and see if people can actually pay you before you even have the app ready or before you even started making the app or the game. And what's great about this is that it gives you the resources, the financial resources, to hire a team to help you achieve what you want to do. Now, you have to understand that if you look in the app stores, whether it's the Google Play Store, the Amazon Store, or the iTunes App Store, there's already millions of apps and games out there. So it's very hard to just create something new and then get lots of users coming in and taking the course, or buying the app right away. So what you have to understand is that you need to create your audience, especially at the launch, your first audience that will boost your app to the App Store charts. Once your app or game is in the charts, then other people can just come in and see it and download it. But first you have to get there. Okay, so again, don't let anyone kill your idea, tell you your idea is good or bad. Do not let them say that. Look at actual analytics, actual numbers by getting email subscriptions or even having people pay for your app before it's even made. All right, if you like these comments, remember, add a review, a rating to the course. It always helps. If you have any questions, I'm in the forum, so go ahead.
After all, making games is just another business. What do I mean by this? When you make games, you have to think as a businessman, not as an artist or not as just a hobby. If you put in your mind that this is just a hobby and you're just trying to make side money, this could work. But you have to think that you have to go all in. Now, there's something great about making games is that it's very rewarding and it's fun. Honestly, it's fun to play games, but it's also fun to create games. You have this feeling of having some kind of a baby that's born, a product that's born out of you. So that's definitely a great feeling. All right, so definitely Unity is the way to go. It's a free tool to use, and when you start making good money, you can pay for the license. But Unity allows you to use the same tools as AAA studios, as the best studios out there. You don't even have to pay $1 to be able to use the same tools. Now, this was never heard of in the past. In the past, if you had to use something like Unreal Engine, you had to pay thousands of dollars to be able to use that. And even some tools for the Xbox or other platforms that even, the common of the mortals like you and I, we were not even allowed to use these tools. We couldn't even buy a license. We didn't even have the right to buy the license. So we come in a time that making games has been democratized. Anyone can now make games. All right. Now, what I want to tell you is that you can make games for different platforms. And this is very important because this will change the way you make games. You can make games for consoles. You can make games for mobile devices, such as iPhones and Androids. And you can make games for online internet, which would be for desktop, for example, or just,
any types of these platforms. Now, you can also make games for the Internet of Things, or for anything that you could wear, anything that's wearable. But we're not really there yet. This is virtual reality, and it's coming in 2016 and 2017. I cannot really predict the future, but definitely this is going to become big, because all the big guys are here. Facebook has invested millions of dollars in it, Google too, Sony too, Samsung too. So it's just a matter of time for it to become huge. All right. Having said that, again, there's different platforms that you can build games for. Now, if you want to build games for console, there are two different ways of building games for consoles. By the way, the consoles, you already know what it is, but I'm just going to throw it out there. You have the Xboxes, the PlayStations, and any other consoles that you may think about. But usually it's PlayStations and Xboxes. All right, so there are two different types of games you can make. You can make small indie studio games, and these will appear in a specific spot in the app stores. So if you go to the Xbox App Store, you have the independent section. So your games can only be there. Now, if you reach a certain level and your games are really good and you have good quality, then Microsoft or even Sony will allow your game to be part of the big guys game. What do I mean by the big guys? All those big AAA titles, which means that your games are going to show up on the main screen that's just right there, the home screen, when people boot up their console. And there's going to be millions of people looking at your apps here, meaning that the revenues are, the sky is the limit here. All right, so that's for the console. Now, you have the mobile application and mobile games, which would be the Androids, so any Google Play, or there's actually dozens of Android stores. In the United States, we mostly have only Google Play and the Amazon store for creating apps and games. But in China, they have 7 or 8 other stores, and all over the world, they have multiple different stores. So know that you can create your game with Unity and put your game into all these stores. And the more stores, the more people you can reach with your games. All right, so this is for the Android side, but you also have obviously the iTunes App Store. So any iPhones, iPad, tablets, and all of these, you can create games for these. And by the way, the code that you will create with Unity will be the same one, whether it's for Android or for iPhones or even PlayStation and Xbox and so on. So this is never heard of before. Trust me, I've used other tools before. When I create games for Android or when I want to create games for iPhones, it's always been a pain to be able to target so many platforms. It's been very expensive because you need to have different sets of tools to be able to create a game that would work on all these platforms. However, now you don't have to. Unity takes care of that. So again, it's a great time saver and a game money saver. It's actually free. So how better could that be? Now, not everything is free because having the game, having the platform to make games is not all you need. You obviously need graphical assets. Now, again, you can create your own or buy some, and I will explain you how you can do one or the other.
In this section, we'll be exploring what kind of games you can actually create using Unity engine. As you can see with Unity, you could create a bunch of different games. This is the App Store, for example. There's a lot of games that are created in the App Store itself. And in it, some of those games that are best selling right now are the ones that have been created with Unity itself. And how do we know this? I'm going to show you in a second what kind of games actually been created with Unity. This is just an example of some games that are right now shown in the App Store. What you could actually do is to go in and create your own games with Unity itself. So Unity is one of the premier methods for you to go about, find any kind of games that are trending in the App Store, take some of those games out, take them apart and create your own version using Unity search engine. Here is some games that are in the App Store right now. Those are the trending games, the ones that are making money at the moment, the top paid ones as well. You can go and see every single one of them, and some of them are made by Unity, others are not made by Unity. There's a lot of things that you could do with Unity itself. For example, here are some gallery of things that have been created with Unity, made with Unity games. There is thousands of different games that have been made with Unity engine. But for you, the whole key is to find the one that you like. Just find something that seems to be your style and pick it, because what you could do is just modify something like it and create your own version of a similar game for yourself that you can play. Or if you want, just create something a little different and try to sell it in the App Store and see if they will accept it as well. So Unity gives you a lot of different options that you could do, and there is a lot of different games that you could create as well. Let's go into and see what kind of trailers there are. That's going to show you a little bit more what you could actually do with Unity itself. So here are some trailers that you can go and check for yourself, even to take a look at the sophistication that is possible to create with Unity. We will start with this particular one right here, Lara Croft. Amazing. Let's go into something else that's also just as awesome as well. There's a lot of different kind of games here, and I like a lot of those. It just seems that there's so many stuff that you can do with Unity is just unbelievable. Here's another one. Let's take a look at it. That's kind of awesome. It's like a movie too. So this is interesting. You can see, like, as you can see, that you can do like 3D graphics, you can do motion like adventures with Unity. There's all kinds of sophisticated stuff you could do if you want to, and if you don't, you can do just a normal looking game as well. So Unity is the key for you to be able to create amazing looking games without needing to know how to program. You can outsource all the stuff, all the code out to find people how to do it for you. It is an amazing way to get your app in no time to the Apple App Store. So after you already created your Unity game, the next step for you to publicize it and get as many people to actually like your Facebook page, because that's going to be the next step. When a lot of people are going to like your Facebook page, they're going to know about your game, it's more likely they're going to go and actually buy the game itself. So for you to do this, you need to do two things. One, to create an attractive Facebook page. Two, to invite a lot of people to it. So we're going to go and show you how to create an attractive Facebook page. The first thing I want to show you is an example of somebody who already created an attractive Facebook page. Take a look at what they did. First off, on the lower left side is the Unity game logo. On the upper right side, and this is the big screen here, you can see the picture of the game itself. So this is the attraction, this is the main image. Make sure you use your best image for your main image. Now, Facebook pages are excellent because you can tell all your friends to go about and tell them to like your page. The more likes, the more people actually get impressed, and the more people get impressed, the more likely some of them are gonna go and buy the game that you actually created. So there's a few places where you can actually go and advertise your game. First off is in the about section. You can do two things here. You can write about what the game is all about, and you can put your website. Another location is right below. There is a location for the website itself. And the last one, and the most important one, is contact us. You can actually link it directly to your website. One other place that sometimes is missing, and this is one of the best locations to actually do this, is to pin something to the top of your page and then post a call to action. So give them a call to action, such as telling them, hey, listen up, I have this game out there and we're only giving it away for $49 for a limited time. and here is a link to the game itself. So you can actually do this in this particular section and pin it all the way to the top. Another thing, and keep this in mind as well, people are going to send you messages on your Facebook page, so make sure you respond to them. And well, if it says that very responsive to messages, this is good. If it's not going to say something like that, that's not that good, but nobody will really know about. But at the same time, if you have a client who actually messages you, you want to respond to them right away, because any of those clients could be a potential buyer of the product itself. So the next step we're going to actually do is create our own Facebook page. In fact, it even tells us all we have to do is press right here, but I'm going to show you another location where you could do this in case you don't see that menu. So what we have to do is press on create a page, then we're going to go into brand or product, because that's what we are selling. In the categories, we're going to go into games section, games and toys. Here we're going to title it Unity Game. After we press on that, get started, we're going to be waiting for it to actually show up. So now, then after you actually do this, what we have to do here is just describe what our game is about. So we have a section that gives us 155 different characters, so you can fill it up with everything that this game actually does, and you can put your website here as well. So I'm just going to do Unity Games. I'm not going to type the rest of it in because I'm just demonstrating to you how to create this. Here you can do the website itself, and I'm just going to put my own website. So just for an example, let's press on save information, and now let's get the profile picture. All we have to do is upload it from the computer or from your own website. I'm going to upload it from my computer. So let's get the image itself, and this is the miniature image. This is not the big one. So let's put that in. Press on next now, and here we have a choice if we want to add this specific Facebook page to our favorites, and I actually don't want this, but if you do, if it's going to appear on the upper left side of your menu. So let's skip this section. The preferred page audience, you want to include people who are more likely to actually purchase your game. So let's do actually that. People 65 years and older, I don't think they're that likely to play video games. So let's do people 39 to 22, because we actually want people who not only can play video games, who are most likely to actually purchase it as well. So that is our target audience, and in fact it's probably mostly men. So let's do that. So we actually created this part. Now what we are missing here, it's going to tell you a few things that's going to help you out here. First off, it tells you that you can actually send a like request to as many people as you can, but it's not ready yet, so we're going to skip that. Let's skip this one as well. We don't want to invite people here, not yet anyway. So what we're going to do next, upload picture. We're going into this car and game prototype. That's the one that we are picking. Let's wait for it to show up. Here we go, we have a picture. So if you move the image up or down, it's gonna make the image itself look a little bit more attractive. So as you can see right here, there's too many clouds. Right there is more of the game itself. We want to have a little bit of actually both clouds and game. Let's press on save changes. So now that we have the images already created, and you can even email your contacts, that's kind of awesome too. But we are gonna hold off on that because it's not ready yet. Here we are going into create a call to action. We have a few different choices here: book now, call now, send message, play game. This is probably the most appropriate one here. And here you can say not only play game, you're adding this directly to your website. So we are going to create the link to it. So let's create that. We don't have the website yet, so I have to put some kind of a website to make this actually work in. So let's do this. And now we created the call to action. You can promote this if you want. We're not doing this right now. So now we have the play game here, and here is the most important part of everything. Get this Unity game. What you will actually want to do is to write that in, and there, after you write it in, make sure you put the website right there as well. So when you do this, all you have to do is press on publish. Now that we have the post all the way in the front of this, you want to go into this triangle-like menu, press on that, and then press on pin to top. So what's going to happen is it's going to show it all the way at the top of the page, and you're going to have this interesting looking symbol right there. Now, to make this post even more effective, I suggest let's go back to edit this particular post. I do suggest for you to add pictures to the post itself. So not only you have a post, you actually have an image that goes along with the post itself. So now it's more likely that somebody is going to pay attention. So as you can see now, it looks so much better than before. Before it was just like this, and now it actually has an image, and then it's going to have the website right there, which I didn't post it in, but you can actually do this. So this is what you have to do, and this is how simple and fast it is for you to create your own Facebook page and to use it for your own campaign to get people to actually like the game you have and to get them to actually buy the game you have. So when you're done and you created all of this, now your turn to get people to actually like this. So everyone who is your friend, make sure you press on invite, and every one of them is going to come and check it out. Once they come in and check it out, they're going to press like. First people you invite is your friends to get social proof and to show that a lot of people like the page itself. Then you go about and find people who are potential clients. You go into Facebook groups, you go to a lot of different kind of places and ask them to go in and like your page and help me to get up to 100 likes. Once you actually write that in, and you post the link to this Facebook page, this is how your campaign is going to start, and this is how you're going to get a lot of more people to know about your game, to get awareness of it, and the more people know, the more people are aware, the more likely they're going to go and buy your product. Thank you so much for enrolling in the Unity 3D course. This one has been a demo of the complete Unity 3D class, Create a Video Game Fast and Business of Video Games, which was created by Sergey Kisimov, which is myself, and Johan, who is a specialist in creating and designing 3D, Unity 3D, and all kinds of programming courses. So this is one of his best Unity 3D classes, and of course, if you want to enroll, usually the cost of this class is over $200, but sometimes it goes on sale for $10. But I want to make sure you always get this class on sale for $10. So all you have to do is to press all the way on the bottom where it says have a coupon and type in YouTube, then press on apply, and you will get in this class for only $10. Make sure you enroll because it is limited edition, so I don't have a bunch of those coupons left. So see you on the inside, and I can't wait to teach you how to start programming your Unity 3D, and of course my co-instructor will teach you the rest. So combined, this class is going to be awesome. See you on the inside, and you have 30 days to check it out, risk-free whatsoever. If you don't like it for any reason, you can get your money back. See you on the inside, and have a great day.